Welcome back. What's going on in England? They're at war with France? What's going on in England? Are they at war with France, she says, in 1068. Oh man, I don't know. I wonder what's going on with England. I'm not smart. You, you know. Also, wow, it's already 1068. Okay. 22 days until next phase. You can execute with confidence. Adds 5% chance to the final success chance. For 80%. Hey Jim, good to see you. How you doing? Protect the innocent. Success. We make the money. We get the opinion. We gain the prestige. Almost said prowess. I'm gonna stop that bit. We live a long path ahead of us. This tooltip is broken. Because here it says we get 89 for an exceptional success, and here it says we're getting 79. So, they need to... Hope Roads to Power is good so far. I think it's too early for me to say. I had heard other people who got early access to this say that the landless gameplay is a little flat and uneventful, but I'm only an hour in, so I can't speak on that yet. However, I may... I don't know. They may have a point. Kind of amazed they actually added landless gameplay. Me too. Can I get men-at-arms from you? Recruit a random men-at-arms regiment. I'm gonna wait on this. I'm gonna grab a little more. A little more. Yeah, this is better money. I'm just happy they added something that wasn't already in CK2. Oh, absolutely. Heard that Stellaris breaks hard if the player has no systems, and any wishes the community to introduce landless gameplay to Stellaris are met with the developers' wails of horror. How would you add landless gameplay? Cannot take new contracts when already traveling. Oh, we have to go home. Okay. Something I noticed playing myself, you really can't interact with lieges that aren't in the realm you're in. So like 1 or 2 counties over and you can't communicate with them anymore. Huh. It's an interesting choice. Our journey is violently interrupted by the sound of tearing flesh and gnashing jaws, and the desperate cries of a man about to meet his end. The noise is so horrific it must have come from the depths of hell. Attempting to track the source, we find a desperate knight struggling with a wild boar. His blade is wedged between the beast's jaws, but his grip is beginning to falter. Not like you have an army of messengers at your beck and call. Yeah. Yogan the Craven. He's not very good, but... Do I take a 50% roll? I mean, I can't... It's not within our character. We have to try to help him. You were mauled by the boar. Well, shit. Was trying to murder a guy and realized, oh shit, I have to move my camp into his realm to actually be able to do that because the realm was too far away. That's cool. When you put it that way, that's actually really cool. Work is dried up in your local area. Moving your camp is the easiest way to find a slew of fresh contracts. Here's an example of a destination a fair distance away from your current map. Camp location. You may plan the travel directly from the county view to any selected barony in the county. Traveling with your camp works just like normal travel, but you bring all camp followers with you and must spend provisions. I don't want to start my camp travel yet. Strength of a bear was outmatched by the strength of a boar, apparently. Okay, we'll just skip this lesson. We know how to travel, I think. Tutor child. This could be a lot of money. Communication is hard in that setting without a permanent location. True. No, it's fitting. It just sounds frustrating. I'm gonna be some hired muscle. Seeks discreet swords for hire for short posting. Handsome reward offered for swift, clean work. Let's do it. Travel's fairly safe. Traveling through the sometimes harsh environments has invigorating effects on at least my state of mind and vigor. As I glance over at Flan, however, he does not appear to be doing quite as good. His movement is labored, his breathing heavy, and spontaneous bursts of coughing ripple through his body. Clearly he's not well. Not the silly. Should rest and let him recover fully. Just a little cough. He could develop pneumonia. He won't be happy about it. We'll rest and let him recover fully. Nah, he's fine. You know what? No, I kind of do want to try and be a little roleplay here. Let's, just a cough. A duel demanded. I am Fathod of Thormund. I've bested dozens of women in combat, and honestly, all those fights were dull. So here I am on this road looking for someone better than me, someone I can learn from. If you can best me in combat, I'll become a valuable and loyal servant, and so on this day I demand to meet one of you in a fair fight. He's not very good he's not very good at prowess, but he's decent at martial. He'll be less valuable after I win. Egil will show you how it's done. My needs are simple, explained Fasti. There are certain thorns in the rose of Clonmel, and I would have you remove these prickly characters. I can't be seen to remove them directly, so you're going to deal with them for me. I draw thumb across my neck quizzically. No, no, clarifies my employer. No serious bloodshed. Just keep them silent without killing them until they understand what it is to disrespect the mayor. Seems simple enough. Remember, we're here to earn. Success chance balanced. Just get on with our task. I saw 25 for the bodyguard. 23 for muscle. 15, 12, 17 here. 15 here. And Fothod can be our lookout. Finally found the music player message settings down by the ... next to the speed dial. Ah! Excellent. Excellent. Message settings I probably won't fiddle with on stream unless I have to. We'll see. Just some off-screen things. Yeah. Alright, we've got like a proper scheme here. Travails of a cook. I don't think we're being unreasonable, snarls the cook, who presumably drew the short straw on coming to speak to me, waving an arm dismissively at the surrounding terrain all the while. There's plenty of farms here, even if they're not great ones. Cannot be that hard for us to pause briefly and stock up on some of the little luxuries that make our food bearable. I sigh, weary of the conversation already. I wonder which of us will break first. These feel like the ravings of a lunatic. I checked the stocks just this morning, and we should be well supplied for months yet. What are you even complaining about? Fine, we can restock. No, we're not doing that. Absolutely not. Work with what you've got. What are you even complaining about? We have full provisions. Don't know where the custom message thing is, still looking for that. Let me know if you find it. Oh, also the, Yeah, custom message, that's what I'm... Thank you for the stretch. Seems really neat, honestly. I'm enjoying it. I could see some of these events getting a little repetitive after a while. They do seem to come almost too quickly. Oh, stretch. Great. Let me just slow down time, and I'll keep the game running. Excuse me. Whew. Alright. My wound has healed, which is excellent. I'm going to execute at an 83%. I don't think we need 99. %84.2%. Seize the moment. Failure. You had one job, sighs Fosty. Silence some mouthy pricks, keep them quiet for a few months, and then come back and collect your silver. My face remains stoic. It might be galling, but it's best to let the mayor express his frustrations verbally, lest he resort to doing so with force of arms. Perhaps I'm a fool for expecting any better from a hireling like yourself. Can't be helped, I suppose. There's a pause as I wait to see if the man has aught else to say. You may go, now, if you please. Back to the wilds. That's unfortunate. I think what we're going to do is we're going to ask for those men-at-arms, and then we'll see if there's mercenary work in England. Confidence trickster. Oh. Can has men at arms, please? Armored footman, excellent. Heavy infantry is expensive. So we could go to England, or we could support a faction up here in Scotland. So it's against Lothian or Sudreyar. I think you're probably the easier choice.
I'd like some more coffee.
Area, thanks for the follow. Welcome, my cub.
For I hold that on the seas the expression, if you please, a particularly gentlemanly tone implants. And so do his sisters, and his cousins, and his aunts. And so do his sisters, and his cousins, and his aunts. His sisters and his cousins, whom he reckons up by dozens, and his aunts.
In gold based on war contribution and piety. The Mormer is fed up with petty King Gothrod of the Sondayar's rule. He sends open invitations for all who oppose petty King Gothrod to join the Liberty faction. I don't think I want to join a Liberty faction. I think I want to... Do I want to join the fight over England? Is it worth it? Thanks for the hydrate. Because the thing is, if we join England, they have a huge amount more troops than we do. We could also try to educate this child, but alternatively, we could also increase the size of our footmen or hire a different men-at-arms regiment. Armored footmen get countered by bowmen, right? No. Armored footmen get countered by light footmen. And light footmen get countered by bowmen. Maybe we hire some bowmen. Giant footmen? You're so right. I'm gonna hire bowmen. I don't know if this is the right choice. I've been getting so many spam calls lately, and they literally like ring once and hang up. They're not even trying to get a hold of me. I might have understood what increasing their size meant. I'm going to refill men-at-arms with provisions. And then we're going to travel to England and see if we can join. Is that picking up? Someone is using like a lawnmower outside my window. I hope that's not picking up through my mic. Why am I getting so many notifications on my phone right now? Hey. It's me with a souped up ceiling fan, my bad. Understandable. It's gonna cost 500 provisions, that's nothing. Start moving camp. What the duck? The day on the road has been fairly calm and nondescript so far. We're somewhere outside of Corcuth, and I close my eyes as my mount brings me forward, one solid step at a time. As the wind plays a magnificent melody through the treetops, another noise is carried by the breeze, and not from our entourage. Is that quacking? I isolate the sound to be coming from a shrubbery on my right-hand side. It's a good omen. Follow that duck. It's a good omen. God has blessed our journey to England to fight in these wars by sending us a duck. Or something. Unlock a new martial perk. Men-at-arms recruitment cost would have been nice if I realized this was coming up, but that's fine. "5 years of duck power, yes. I'm gonna grab Serve the Crown anyway. Unless I want Stalwart Leader. No, Serve the Crown. Oh, my head moans Crudels as he rides along beside me. I raise an eyebrow in silent inquiry at the man's exclamation. In response, Crudels simply slumps down across his horse, whimpering and clutching at his temples. Clearly someone had a good night last night. Slow down for him, laugh at his predicament. Kick his horse into gear. Trot on, leaving him to his misery. We don't need the stress loss. I want to laugh at him. That's what friends do, honestly. I'm gonna laugh at him anyway. Every adult follower gains opinion of you. Alright. We'll kick his horse into gear. The sea is calm and forgiving today. Still as a border and a powerful wind at our back to boot. Seems it'll be an easy day for the rowers below, but then I spot the mangled corpse of a ship buried nose first into some jagged rocks just ahead. There doesn't appear to be any survivors, and the rocks would be no trivial thing to navigate. Yet I feel compelled to go and investigate this mysterious wreck. Our journey is delayed, but we may find something of value. But there's nothing but death that way. Let's investigate. A trinket! As suspected, the wreckage contains no life, save for a few birds pecking away at the half-eaten corpses of the travelers who came before us. Upon closer inspection, I see something shining in the bloodied beak of a bird. With a high-pitched squawk, it drops the objects into the wreckage and flies away, leaving me to collect this intriguing object. Erchtu's horn. Fertility and spouse it. A questionably shaped lump of horn, reportedly from the mythical Erchitu. Fertility and spouse opinion, huh? I have questions. Bone Wang. Okay, pause. Hired muscle, protect the innocent. Hired muscle, ambush travelers. Let's not head straight into the war. It looks like there's not recruiting mercenaries at all, which is unfortunate. Complete a martial scheme. Well, let's see, 60 gold versus 59 gold. Same thing. We'll do the martial scheme first. We'll pass through Gloucester on the way back. My needs are simple, explains Edric. There are certain thorns in the rose of Shrewsbury, and would have you remove these prickly characters. Can't seem to remove them directly, so you're going to have to deal with them for me. We've seen this event already. Remember, we're here to earn. Let's just get on with our task, actually. 23, 25, 15... 23, 15, 12, 21, 15, 11 for our lookout. Shrewsbury, the ancestral homeland of a particularly venomous semi-aquatic rodent. I feel like I should know that reference, and I'm drawing a blank right now. Sounds very familiar. Shrews. Touché. I was overthinking it. I have a little bit of leftover Coke from lunch. And I just keep thinking about how nice it would feel with a little bit of the gin I have behind me in it. How nice it would taste. But it's 1:30. I should not start drinking. Especially because I don't have that much gin left. For some time now, the post of my second has lain vacant. Discontent with the state of affairs has finally bubbled over enough that 3 candidates have stepped forward to offer themselves for the role. Blan, who offers to swear himself to me until his dying breath. Bothod, who seems about ready to work himself into a stupor for me. And of course, Krugels, undoubtedly the best qualified at camp for this role. Bear responsibility. The burden of responsibility. These Krugels' evident skills. Grundles. Do I have any other camp positions or camp officers that are... Oh! These just increased my skills by a huge amount. That's fantastic. I'm glad I picked him. Personal physician. Lan, you can be my physician. I don't need a stooge, and I don't think I need bodyguards. Okay. Let's go to speed 4 here. So we are kind of just waiting for this, this scheme to go. 2, 1. $75%, let's fire it. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, right? Seize the moment. Wonderful job, Coffee. The garden of Shrewsbury is beautifully, blissfully silent, and I can rest a little easier at night. Tosses me a pouch of silver. Please stay with us next time you're passing through the area. I'm sure we can find suitable lodgings, not to mention suitable employment. Such an enterprising young mercenary. A long path ahead of us. Rescue a fair subject. Protect the innocent. We'll try to protect the innocent now. See where that goes. Animals, thugs, and ruffians. The mere thought appears to be enough to disturb Earl Walthorf's demeanor. Common people of the earldom are so agitated I fear they may rise in arms any moment now. Those with young families have been rebuking my officers, asking why we have not protected them. No reason to compromise. I think the extra time really helps here. Or the shorter time, I mean. We're at -1. You know, I think I quite like the scheme rework. I sit by my pavilion, letting the sounds and smells of the camp wash over me. It's different from a life within the safe walls of a palace, so very different. The freedom is easy to enjoy, no obligations, no counselors, yapping, no dignitaries to entertain, none of the downsides of the trappings of power. Yet these freedoms are dearly purchased. The constant scraping for survival wears thin. Increasingly, every night I yearn for a proper bed. I must claim some lands in the future. Halves the cost of the Adventure Invasion CB. Quite enjoy this life. Gain experience in Wanderer. Best to keep my options open. Ooh, chance to gain Flexible Leader. We're going to keep our options open just because I don't think the Adventurer CB is how we're going to get landed. The Adventurer Invasion, I don't think is how we're going to get landed. And I gained the Flexible Leader trait, which is fantastic. I mean, it's not the best trait, but it's fantastic that we have another one. I feel like I should be seducing people. Oops. I don't know, I'm just thinking we're unmarried, we don't have an heir. Maybe we should be seducing someone. Just to practice. No prisoners there. Or no courtiers there. Not attracted to women. Well... Alright, fine. Never mind. I'll address it as an opportunity comes up. Rounding a little cluster of tents as I leave my pavilion, I come across a gaggle of followers having dinner around a small hearth. Curiously, both Flan and Nastforth are among them, neither of whom particularly enjoy one another's company. Before I have time to ponder such a strange quirk of seating, Nastforth mutters something inaudible, only for the whisper to send Flan into a blind rage. With a flash, the weapon is drawn and blood is about to be spilled. I don't really want either of them to die. They're quite good. Oops. I did not mean to click on that. But we gained opinion. I meant to hover and my finger slipped. That's unfortunate. New stand with us contract. Oh, I have contracts in, I can reach northern France. Accidentally a good end. Yeah, it worked out, but I wanted to see the options. Alright, we'll execute at 92%. Ooh, this we'll execute at 92%, and then we'll go join this war, I think. 3, 4, and there goes the 5th boar this morning. I put the corpse down in the cart right in time for Earl Walthorf to arrive with some of the servants. What a magnificent job, he applauds. No more murdered cattle, no more lost children. Here, have your payment, and if the common folk complain once again, I know who to call for. Hey. Okay, Raph, how does your war look? You have 500 troops versus 10,000, or versus 1,000. We may not be able to actually win this for them. We only have 200 troops. Now, they're all men-at-arms, but these guys have pretty high-quality troops as well. I think we have to sit this one out, still. Why am my phone is just constantly going off today? I'm curious about what the rescue affair subject scheme is. So I want to see what that looks like. I don't get any money, but I do get Prince Edmund in our role of patrons. One of Prince Edmund's fairest courtiers has not returned from an incursion into the woods of Dorset. The Earl's court eagerly offers a reward. We could visit the Hinge on our way back. A little bit dangerous, though. Let's not. Considering there's a war on. Ruin Rambling. Scouting out ahead of the camp, I come across a ramshackle collection of traders. They're gathered around some large but old and ruined building. The remaining ones in good condition have been occupied by the merchants. Their wares are fairly standard, food mostly, being on a well-traveled road that would no doubt attract many purchasers. Yet my eye is drawn inexorably towards the gray, pockmarked walls of the ruins. So magnificent they are, the merchants occupy merely the outskirts, but its dilapidated heart remains untouched. Let's stay safe and buy provisions. I don't need them, so we'll try our luck in the ruins. Search is pointless. A tired Prince Eumund approaches the camp with his men. The horses stop right before my tent as I get up to greet them. That damn woman, I hear the Earl mumble. I bid you good morning, Coffee, he says, wiping the sweat off his forehead. Seems that a most beautiful woman has been lost in the woods, and my courtiers will not stop lamenting until I bring her back. A fair man. Weird. A fair maiden to the rescue. 23, 23, 9, 25, 15. What is an outcast? Needs intrigue and diplomacy. Okay. I'll still assign you, but it doesn't seem particularly useful to do so. It doesn't seem like it makes a difference, is what I mean to say. Warm Coca-Cola. Plenty in common. Life in close quarters tends to magnify relationships, both good and bad. Fortunately for Fothard and Flan, their common interest and absolute devotion to God has proven to be a strong bonding agent. The two laughing and joking together at camp and riding alongside one another on the road is becoming an increasingly common sight. We should encourage the friendship. Overbearing leader. Good for them. No need to... No need to interfere. Local culture. Oh, here we go. Become a great conqueror. Start construction of a castle. Wow. That's cool. Do we keep the holding? Huh. Looks like I should have joined this war in East Anglia after all. He's losing. Oh, maybe I read that backwards. Maybe I read the troop counts backwards. Aelgil's most recent foe slumps down, panting and defeated. Wrestling is a fairly popular sport among most mercenaries for obvious reasons. But Aelgil pursues it like it's an art form. I sometimes wonder if he wouldn't prefer to fight barehanded on needing no other weapons. The man sees my pondering look and raises his fist in a polite yet mocking jest. Well, how about it? I've been beaten for even asking. No. Brave words for an imminent loser. We take this. What's his opinion of us? He might lose opinion if he beats us. Wrestle him into submission. Gains respect. Gained a new martial perk. I think I'm going to go down impressment for now. The changes to this are really... I'm really not sure what's best. Oh, how's our scheme going? Three, two, one. Each night, one fire becomes the hub of the camp's social activity. People coalescing around my inner circle to wag tongues and trade friendly barbs. Tonight is no exception. Look, all I'm saying, chortles Natfroth to the giggling of several other followers, is that poor Fodthard is known to be one of the most righteous, self-sacrificing followers of God on earth. He even gave up his whole sense of humor. A chorus of inebriated guffaws breaks out from the easily pleased onlookers, though it seems to be wearing on Fothad. Turn the tables on Natfroth. A joke of your own. Turn the tables on him. People like a smile. I'm gonna go with 81% chance here that we find the fair maiden. Maybe we can seduce her. Failure. Shit. Would you care to explain what this is? Prince Erlman storms into my tent, throwing a red-soaked handkerchief over my table. The guards found it while patrolling the woods, and it has an emblem that I suppose you'll find familiar. He rubs his eyebrows. Now I have to deal with agitated courtiers and broken-hearted officers. Do not expect to receive full payment. Well, back to the wilds. How many years have passed? 4? Ah, we can't join that war anymore. Speaking of wars, how are these ones going? We're against the tyranny. No, I don't think I'll join that one. Let's be hired muscle for Goodwin here. Godwin. And then probably head down into France. Excuse me. And we'll detour the worst of the worst of the fighting, I guess. My needs are simple, explains Goodwin. There are certain thorns in the sides of Rose of Salisbury. I'd like to have you remove these prickly characters. Just get on with our task. Alright, everybody, while I am setting this up, we're going to run some ads. I'll be back in 3 minutes. Time for a break. Get up, stretch, get some water, make some coffee, make a sandwich, take care of your meat vessel. You only get one of them, and that makes it important for no other reason than that. I will see y'all in just a few minutes. Be right back.